And we are live. Good morning, PTI Nice Daily Show. Happy Thursday morning. I hope your morning is off to a great start. My name is Alan. I'm happy to be your host today. I have the pleasure of serving as the Chief Operating Officer for the Institute of Clinical Excellence and a faculty member in our Fitness Athlete Division. First things first, I will apologize for being very tardy. I just finished a ridiculous hero workout that took about 75 minutes, which is about 30 minutes longer than I wanted it to. A little workout called Smokowski, maybe you've done it, 6,000 meter run, and then 60 burpee pull-ups with an RX Plus option to wear a weight vest, 30 pounds for guys, 20 pounds for ladies. So quite a nasty workout, which is why I'm here with you about 15 minutes late today. Today is Leadership Thursday. We talk all things business management, clinic, practice, ownership, and leadership tips. Before we get started, a couple courses coming your way. A lot of our courses coming up in the late summer here into the fall are full. I'm squinting because I don't have my glasses on. There we are. We have Total Spine Thrust Manipulation with Justin Dunaway. That's this weekend. There's still a chance to catch him. That'll be in Nashville, Tennessee. And then next weekend, if you're out in the Midwest, you can join the Fitness Athlete Division for Fitness Athlete Live. These are fogging up. I'm going to take them back off. That will be with Zach Long, Kristen Nett, Kelly Benfee, and Guillermo Contreras in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And in that same weekend, you can join Jeff Moore, myself, and Rachel Selena up in Rochester, New York. So if you're in the Western New York, Pennsylvania area, you can catch us for cervical spine management. And then some online courses coming your way. We have Clinical Management Fitness Athlete Essential Foundations. That's 8 weeks online with myself and Mitch Babcock, learning to work with the CrossFitter, the power lifter, the Olympic weightlifter, and the person that is doing recreational fitness that we call the fitness athlete. Sorry, Instagram froze. We're back. So today, leadership, we're continuing our series that started 2 weeks or so ago. So go back and listen to the previous 2 weeks on Thursday, Leadership 101 and Leadership 102. Today, we're talking Leadership 103, systems. Now, you hear that word, systems, and maybe it evokes some negative emotions in you. Maybe you think, ooh, that makes me think of like politics and bureaucracy and stuff I hate and stuff that makes my job not fun. And while that's certainly true, there is a lot of benefit to recognizing the importance of not only developing systems, but testing and refining systems to make them better, because systems tend to get a bad rap, and people tend to try and fly by the seat of their pants to avoid using systems because they hate them so much, which just really makes their life a lot tougher and makes their business a lot less efficient and a lot less profitable. So let's talk about systems. What are systems? Systems can be anything, right? Systems are ways that we organize tasks, organize workload, we make things easier. So a simple system is a grocery store checklist, right? We're all pretty familiar with that system. What do I need from the grocery store? I need eggs, I need milk, I need bread. I'm going to write down what I need going through the kitchen before I leave the house. I'm going to write it down on a list. I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to check it off as I buy it. That's my system to make sure I don't forget any groceries that I need, right? So that is an example of a system. Systems can be that simple. Systems can be all the way to automated email marketing, right? And that's kind of the systems that we are really uncomfortable with, that we have learned to hate, right? Advanced technology that doesn't work for us, technology that's very bureaucratic, and even technological systems that can actually make our life harder and make our work take longer than if we didn't have a system, right? A lot of us can sympathize with having an electronic medical record that is maybe so bloated and bureaucratic and full of stuff that we don't utilize on a day-to-day basis that it actually takes longer to do something like a treatment note for a patient, right? You got to check all these boxes, and you may be sitting there thinking, if I could just handwrite this, it would take me way less time, and I would spend a lot less time doing documentation. So that's an example of an advanced system, an example of a system gone awry. So the first thing to understand about systems is they're absolutely necessary. To organize stuff, especially as you are growing a business, you are hiring people underneath of you. In your mind, you know everything that needs to happen to make your business run or the business that you're in charge of run, right? Because you probably have those systems. They're just saved in the old-fashioned computer up here, right? And now when you have people underneath you who are going to be starting to take some of your tasks from you, you need a way to explain those systems to other people so that they can continue to do the work that needs to be done to run the business. And that's where a lot of stuff goes wrong. A lot of us have a hard time taking what's stored up here and outputting it and designing it in a nice way that somebody else can follow behind us, and that's what will always limit the scalability of our business, right? There's a lot of single PT practices out there. There's a lot of folks who are running a quote-unquote business who it's just one person, and it's been one person for years, decades, right? Because they can't develop the systems to have somebody else come on board and follow in their footsteps and pick up some of that work for them in order to grow and scale the business. So it's important that we sit back and we look at what goes into system-wise running my business. We're all comfortable with a physical therapy clinic. What goes into somebody completing a plan of care of physical therapy from start to finish? Well, they need to hear about you, right? So you need to have a system of how are people going to learn about where am I at, right? I need to start a Google My Business. I need to start a Yelp page. I need to start some social media pages. People need to be able to somehow search me and contact me. What does it look like once they contact me? What's that system look like? Some systems are very terrible for that, right? Some folks are phone only. Some folks are maybe email only. We don't have a phone. If you can't email us or text us, then we can't get back to you, right? Which is a system gone wrong the other way. And then when that patient gets to the clinic, what does that system look like? What does intake look like? Is there a way to make them do less paperwork when they sit here? We've all worked at clinics where everything is on paper, right? And the patient comes in at 8:57 and it takes them 33 minutes to do all that intake paperwork, and you get about 20 minutes to try to do evaluation, right? We can all relate to that system gone wrong. So we can look at not only what systems are in place, but how can we make them better, right? Can we put some of that intake paper online? Can we have a thing where when somebody calls, we push a button and they get some paperwork sent to their phone or sent to their email address to make that intake process a lot quicker? And then through the plan of care, what systems do we have in place to reassess people? Are we putting blocks on our calendar to text somebody 24 hours after the visit and find out how they responded to their physical therapy visit? Was it too much? Was it not enough? Was it just right? What systems do we have in place to make sure people remember their appointment? A lot of our electronic medical records have text, phone, email reminders that people simply don't use, and so their patients naturally forget about their appointments when in fact there is a system for that. I think one of the best things you can probably do when you're looking at how good are my systems is put yourself in the seat of a potential patient at your clinic, right? Pretend like you are not the owner or the manager of your clinic. Call your clinic. How did you think the process went to book an appointment? How did you think the intake process went? Did you have to come and fill out a bunch of paperwork by hand? Did you like that you got a little link in your text message and you just tapped some buttons on your phone and completed your intake paperwork? Did you like or not like the text reminder, the phone reminder, the email reminder? Did you not get it? Is it actually not working, right? Has nobody ever tested these systems, and the reason people are late or absent for their appointments is that system is not actually functioning. The programming code itself is not firing, and people aren't actually getting reminders, and your system is in fact broken. What does it look like to be followed up upon by one of your therapists? Are they texting you, following up with you? How are things going? Are they checking in with you? And then what does the discharge system look like to make sure that we wrap up a plan of care appropriately and send somebody to the appropriate discharge destination, or maybe have them stay on for a maintenance or performance program? So that's probably the most common system we need to be familiar with, and inside that whole system of patient physical therapy, episode of care, are a whole bunch of microsystems that we need to appreciate. And a lot of folks out there will say it doesn't matter, just start your clinic, the systems will develop, and while you will certainly learn a lot of on-the-job training starting your own clinic or business, it's probably best if you have the groundwork for a lot of that stuff set down first, so that then you can test it and error check it versus just going by the seat of your pants and hoping it works along the way. That's probably the least efficient way to do it. Now, there are a lot of things to think about of systems. Probably the most important thing, and the thing that makes people hate systems, makes people think of systems is bureaucratic and inefficient and not worth my time and stupid and I wish I could change it, is the fact that systems are created by the person that created the system, and because of that it makes the most sense to them, and it's probably going to make less and less sense to the people that come behind them, the more generations of folks behind them that have to utilize that system, right? We often think of, well, this is how I was told to do it, but I certainly think that there is a better way to do it, and I wish we could do X. And I think as leaders, we need to be comfortable with the fact that the systems that we've created to run our businesses make the most sense to us because they were created by our brains, right? I have a lot of systems in place for a bunch of various tasks with ICE. How to go about booking a course when somebody wants to bring us in for a course. How to send information out about a course. How to list a course on the website. How to send information out after a course. How to follow up after a course. How to pay faculty, right? Systems on systems on systems on systems. And I built all of those from the ground up. They make perfect sense to me because I made them. And something we need to be really comfortable with as leaders is letting go of those systems, of explaining, hey, here's the system I've created to do this task. It's your task now. If this doesn't make sense to you, then please, by all means, suggest some changes and change it so that at the end of the day, all that matters is the task gets done, right? All that matters is that the patient's appointment gets booked, the patient has an easy intake experience, that they have a fantastic physical therapy experience, that they get better, that they had a great fun time, and they tell their friends about physical therapy to keep people coming in the door. That's all that matters. We have to be much more flexible with our systems and let go and delegate those tasks out and be open to those systems being flexible and open. A really good example is I've turned a lot of small day-to-day stuff over to our Chief Administration Officer. Her name is Rachel Selena, and I've basically filmed how to do almost each and every task at ICE, and I've said this is the system I've created, this is what makes the most sense to me to do it, but if it makes sense to you to do a different way, if you have suggestions of a way that it could be done more efficiently, that it could be done faster, that it could be done cheaper as long as it doesn't affect the quality, then by all means tell me and we can change that system. And being really open to that flexibility is what's going to let you delegate more and more work, bring on more and more people, and expand and grow your business. Oftentimes, we're really attached to the system we've made, and we have a my way or the highway approach to a system of this is the way it's done. There is no other way to do this. Do it this way or you're doing it the wrong way, instead of being flexible with our methods and more concrete in the result. As long as the result is the same, the method doesn't matter. And now we can relate on the clinician level to this a lot, right? A lot of us have EMRs and things like that where we think, who designed this? Well, a physical therapist probably didn't design it, right? A computer programmer designed it. A person that probably doesn't treat patients or treat patients from a physical therapy lens is probably the person that created a lot of our systems, especially our technological systems. It's really important that we're open and flexible as leaders to either getting changes made to those systems or being comfortable with dumping those systems. It can be really annoying to switch an EMR after everybody on your staff is trained to use it. But if it's just not working, if it's not making life easier, it's making life harder, we need to be a lot more comfortable dumping systems that don't work. And I think far and away what I see in leadership is folks who have said, I've done it this way every day of my life for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, and this is the way that it's done, and that will always, always stunt your growth and limit other people from being able to pick up those tasks for you and help you grow and expand your business. So be really open-minded to systems. But don't discount systems, right? They're there for a reason. A great book by Atul Gawande is called The Checklist Manifesto. I highly recommend that book if you are in any sort of leadership role. Even if you have kids, right? Even if you're technically just in charge of your own children or something, right? Or if you're the one at home that pays the bills. If you are operating any sort of system in your life, I highly recommend you read that book. It talks a lot about all of the medical error rates, all of the error rates in the airline industry and other high-level, highly functioning industries that rely a lot not only on efficiency and making money, but on personal safety, like surgeries and flying an airplane. And it talks a lot how those industries never used to have systems in place to do stuff. When the pilot got on the airplane, it was however the pilot wanted to get the plane ready, that's how the pilot got the plane ready. Same thing. Surgeon walked in the operating room, however that surgeon wanted to set up the OR and do the surgery, they did it. They maybe did it different every single time. They had no system, and that is why we sew up cell phones inside of people, and why we had such a high crash rate on airplanes in the 60s, 70s, into the 80s, until folks worked with Dr. Gawande and started to really adopt and get comfortable with systems by means of checklists. So now every single airplane, every single flight follows the same pre-flight checklist, kind of military style, no matter what. No matter if it's my first time or my 100,000th time flying this plane, I'm going to follow the same checklist. That's how I make sure I've checked everything. That's how I make sure the plane is ready to go and that the people are going to have the safest flight possible. Same thing with surgeons in the OR. I'm not going to operate on the wrong leg. I'm not going to take out a kidney when I'm supposed to take out a liver, etc., etc. That's how we can make our systems much more efficient, is evaluating what's going wrong and why or why not we do not have a system for that. So we need to get much more comfortable with systems to increase our efficiency, increase our profit margin, and overall make sure that our customers, whether that's patients in the clinic or clients buying a physical product, have a much better experience with us. So systems in a nutshell, super important, but not everything, right? It's important that we're flexible with our systems, that we recognize we're trying to adopt systems that we've probably created in our brain that make sense to us, and that trying to force them on others may not always go as well. So be comfortable with letting your systems be changed, giving those systems away, and recognizing and celebrating when somebody finds an even better way to do it than you. That shouldn't make you upset. That should make you really happy. Hey, you found a better way to do this task that saves time and or money and or makes the customer a lot happier than they already are. That should be rewarded, not looked down upon and say, this is the way we do it. Don't do it differently. Okay? So systems in a nutshell. I'd love to hear about little systems you all have implemented, maybe in your daily practice, in your daily life, maybe around the house, or if you are a clinic manager or owner, or maybe even the owner and manager of multiple locations, what systems do you use in place to keep things running, and what have you found that works and what does not work? I'd love to hear that discussion in the comments here on Facebook or Instagram. So, again, I apologize for being tardy. I apologize for my red, sweaty face. I hope you have a fantastic time. If you're going to be in Nashville this weekend with Justin, if you're going to be out in Wyoming with Zach Morgan for cervical spine management, or if you're going to be down in Georgia for Older Adult Live with Dustin and the Older Adult team, I hope you have a fantastic weekend with them. I hope to see some of you in Essential Foundations online in September. And if you'll be in Rochester, New York next week, and I'll see you then. Have a great Thursday. Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.